Black Clover Chapter 258, the official release, is out, and today we are here to break down certain things that I didn't talk about much in my chapter review, do a full depth analysis of the chapter overall. So before we get to the real juicy bits of the chapter about Asta and his devil, let's talk about Asta and Yami, because that was some good stuff too, right? So for starters, I wanted to talk about this particular panel here. The way that Tabata has drew this panel, you see how much of an influence Yami has over Asta's life. We know there's a huge respect between these two. During the Magic Knight entry exam, no one raised their hand for Asta. Asta wouldn't be a Magic Knight right now if it wasn't for Yami, so the respect is there. Now we just see these two, 250 plus chapters later, fighting neck to neck, side by side, both bloody, and they're both doing the exact same thing and ready to charge in against Dante. I know people are speculating that the person that was in the Spade Kingdom with the Black Bull robe is the vice captain. I also believe that as well, but this moment right here just screams Asta being a vice captain. Even though it's not official, he doesn't have the title, but since the vice captain is away, Asta is the perfect stand-in for it. Especially for a captain's position, Yami relies on Asta more than anybody. I mean, if I was the vice captain of the Black Bulls, I would literally pass down my title to Asta. I'm like, yeah, this guy is truly the vice captain because he is the MVP and the catalyst for the past 18 months of the Black Bull success. So unless this quote-unquote vice captain comes back and brings us the best and most important information of all time in a Black Clover universe, then yeah, it makes sense why this person is the vice captain. But I believe Asta definitely is next in line. Now let's talk about the choreographed team up of Asta and Yami versus Dante in this panel here, because even though despite the fact that there was no talking whatsoever, it was still important, and this panel by itself explains so much. We see how easily Dante was blitzed by Yami and he cuts off his arm. Now you see how easily and quickly alerted he was when Asta tries to do the same thing. Almost as if he knew he was going to get hit by Yami regardless, but for Asta, he knew that he had to defend himself against his anti-magic. He perfectly telegraphed it when Asta was going to strike, and he was going to hit Asta until Yami kicked him away. Which we can say that probably saved Asta's life, because you see the strike and the damage and the rubble we seen from Dante once he hit the ground, and that's definitely a killing blow. I think it's safe to say that Dante, with his body magic, is probably the most physical strongest character, if not the strongest character physically in the Black Clover verse. But I do love seeing that from Yami, because Yami, he definitely has a habit of saving people. He did that to Charlotte when she was elf possessed against the Warrior Magic Devil, despite knowing the fact that he will get hit by his magic as well. He did the same thing for Asta when Patri used his light magic trying to attack Asta. Yami got right in front of Asta and deflect every single attack that Patri tried to make. So I love this character trait of Yami, putting others before himself in mid-fights. I love this. We then see this amazing opportunity that Yami took upon himself when Asta went to go strike Dante, and he teleported, and he knew exactly where Dante was going to teleport, and Yami used his death thrust. Like I mentioned in my chapter reviews many times, I think this is like the 5th or 6th time that Yami has killed Dante. Like Yami and Dante, they're not even on the same playing field of power. By power, I mean more so in skill and combat and battle senses and battle IQ and awareness. Even Dante admitted to that last chapter. It makes me want to see a Prime Julius versus Yami. Sounds like a good fun video discussion, right? We see that Asta took advantage of the situation and tried to charge in. However, Dante quickly regenerated, literally a panel later, and stopped Asta right in his track and punched him and sends him flying. Which, I gotta see that in anime form, because if his regeneration is that fast, we gotta see that. We gotta see that in anime form, how fast it was, because I swear that had to be like a split second. And if his regeneration is that fast and that OP, you really have to obliterate this guy without leaving a single trace, because if his regeneration is that OP at 80%, at 100%, this man will be a nightmare that we cannot see, but I want to see it. But notice here that Dante is quickly reacting to every attack that Asta is trying to bring at him. But we know that there is a power gap between Asta and Yami. Yami is clearly ahead of him, but it's almost as if Dante really does not want Asta to touch him. Even Yami started to realize this. He mentioned that Asta's anti-magic swords are definitely the play here. They are the key. All we need is for his anti-magic swords to touch him. But Asta, he starts to doubt himself just a little here because he feels as though all the training that he done for this past 6 months is still not enough to beat Dante. He feels as though he is the one that is holding Yami back, which can put Yami in a position where he is handicapped, which can lead to a capture. So this is the first time where Asta acknowledged his own devil and asked for more help. He asked for power. He says, "I remember we met like this before. You seem a little different then. I can tell you were angry a minute ago. I don't know why, but you want to stop this guy too. I think I actually should have talked to you like this sooner. I want to do things like this from now on. Lend me your power, please." I love this piece of dialogue in this chapter because this also lets us know that later on in the story, from now on, Asta, we're going to be seeing scenes of Asta talking to his anti-magic devil because Asta knows that this is a source of his power. I think this opens up a door where Asta and his devil, they start to understand each other more. We see conversations of Asta and he probably would ask for the anti-magic devil's name. Also, the potential power that Asta could learn to use if he actually learns how to speak language of the devils or actually understand the language of devils that's inside his grimoire. His anti-magic devil can help him out with that. And I would save that for a whole different video because it's so much to talk about with that. He then say, "Fine, I'll share the true power of a devil with you. I can't do it as things stand though. I need something suitable in exchange. I'll take part of your body. It's a devil's bargain. Are you still in?" That lets us know that Asta may have not been using the true essence of anti-magic. Not saying that he wasn't using anti-magic at all, but probably not to its full potential, not to the full degree of it. Even though Asta's devil is inside his grimoire, Asta doesn't understand his grimoire. He relies on his swords for the most part, so this lets us know that there is some hidden abilities within Asta that we have not seen yet, some untapped potential of the true power of anti-magic. Because Asta now has made a contract with his devil, this changes the story in so many ways. If Asta was this powerful without using the true embodiment of anti-magic, just imagine now. Asta, despite the risk, he agrees. He says that even though if he becomes a devil, he needs to surpass his limits. No matter the cost, because Yami's words mean so much to him. There's no way a guy who can't handle this can become Wizard King. And that is crazy to think about because just imagine Asta as a Wizard King or just anybody in general, a person that is a Wizard King and they are devil possessed. In the Clover Kingdom, and Asta being from Hodge Village, a poor place in the Clover Kingdom, and he has no magic. When he becomes king, it's going to change society in a huge way. And he says before he can become Wizard King, he wants to be the person that can come through for Captain Yami. So Asta, he has a lot to live up to. You know, when he seen Julius for the first time, he said, this is the person that is Wizard King. I gotta surpass him. And Yami, I think that he will not view himself as a Wizard King unless he surpasses Yami. He wants to be that guy that can be on par and fight with him and not be someone who's not reliable on the battlefield. Julius told Asta that it is who is the strongest on the battlefield in the entire kingdom who the people viewed as the Wizard King because it's the merit that they have. So Asta knows that the goal he must reach, he needs to be on par or beyond these people. In Asta's and even Yuno's case, build up that merit and be the strongest in the kingdom, and then you can be Wizard King, or you guys will have to compete. Asta's anti-magic devil then says, very well, I'll give you the power. And we see during the current battle, we see that Dante used his gravity singularity spell and he's ready to attack Asta and Yami with this spell. And one thing that the Viz translations made clear was this panel right here. We noticed that in the fan translations, the panels are much darker, but you see when Asta comes back, he hits Dante's gravity singularity spell, completely negates it, and you see the smile on Yami's face. And we know how destructive and how crazy powerful that spell is. I mean, Yami had to avoid it at all costs or he was going to be dead, and it destroyed an entire mountain. And Asta just comes back and just swings his sword, his Demon Slayer sword, and completely negates it like it was nothing, just out of thin air. And we see his new transformation. We see that his whole entire arm was the sacrifice of getting a devil power, getting the curse mark. So I think this will be his curse mark, just like how the Dark Triads have their own. Maybe Asta wouldn't just walk around with an entire devil arm, but maybe it would have some kind of symbol on his arm, almost like a tattoo, and that'll probably be how he looks when he depowers, because I don't see his entire arm just looking demonic. That would creep out everyone in the Clover Kingdom, but who knows? But I'm excited to see what happens next chapter. And if you're excited, let me know in the comment section. Tell me your thoughts about this. And also, if you enjoyed this video, make sure to leave a like on it. And if you're new to the channel, subscribe and notification bells on. We about to hit 13K real soon, so let's go for it. And other than that, join my Discord is in the description. Follow me on Twitter, that's in the description as well. Again, like, comment, subscribe. You guys have an awesome life. Take care of yourselves, and I'm out.